G'day reefers, I'm Cam the Fish Guy. Thanks for watching Gallery Aquatica TV. So it's been a while since we've shown any episodes on Pimp AquaReef, and to be honest, we've kind of just let it cycle and just do its own thing, and I hate to say we probably have neglected it a little bit. So today we're going to have a look at the tank. We're going to do some work on the filtration on the Keto reactor, and we're going to add some corals, and we're just going to spruce it up a bit and get it back on track. So first, let's come and have a look at the tank. Okay, so as you can see, the tank is going quite well. Most of the corals are really thriving. Some great polyp extension on the Duncanopsamia, the Cataphilia jardini, the acan, green star mat, and the morphs. Now it's a little bit hard to see our yellow assessors because we're standing over the tank, so at the moment they're all kind of hidden. When you sit back they do come out, and so the tank is looking okay, but we really need to make this the tank that's supposed to be. We really want to pimp it out to make sure everything is going great. We've got every bit of rock covered with coral, and there's a lot more. We want more color and action in the tank. So today we're going to do all that. We're going to start with the filter. So let's just see where the filter's at the moment. So our great white skimmer is skimming really well. It's hard to see in the back there because it's a bit dark, but the overflow that we've got with the acrylic filter socks is doing well. So I'm happy with all of this. Our dosing pump's working well. We're going to check the water chemistry. The aquaphorus components is doing well, but I just want to check where our calcium, KH and mag is. Over this way, we have our Keto reactor, the Pax Bellum. Now this is one of the main things that I want to work on today. We need to do a service job on this. We need to harvest some of the ketomorpha out from the reactor, and I also want to make it an easier reactor to work on. So we'll start with testing the water. Our nutrients are relatively low, undetectable nitrate, and the phosphate was 0.16. But what I'm actually most concerned about is the calcium, KH and mag. They're all quite low. So I'm going to raise each of those by around about 10%. And I'm doing that with our Aquametic Evo Doser. Calcium was 13%. I'm going to put that up to, sorry, it was 13 mils per day. I'm going to increase that to 16 mils. Same for the KH, which is on channel 2, and channel 3, the magnesium, will also go up to 16 mils. So now I'll clean out the skimmer, and then we'll have a look at the Keto reactor and what we're going to do to make that easier to maintain. So you may recall that we have both our chiller and our Pax Bellum Keto reactor running off the same pump. So I've turned the pump off, and I'm just going to turn the chiller and the Keto reactor off so that I can remove the Keto reactor without too much mess and without burning out the chiller. Alright, so chiller is off, the pump is off, so there's no flow through the line. I'm just going to disconnect the Keto reactor at this point here. So it's nice and easy to remove there. But what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to use these Eheim double-ended valves. I'm going to use these double-ended valves in line with the Keto reactor so that we can very easily remove the Keto reactor for maintenance. So the first thing I'll do is I'll open this up. And as you can see, the idea is that there's a valve on each end The hose goes on either end as well, and you can turn off the valve and disconnect the tubing with minimal leakage. So the way I'm planning on doing this, I'm going to cut the tubing and I'm basically going to crimp it and put it on the valve in place. So there might be a little bit of leakage, but the pump isn't turned on, so hopefully it'll be minimal. And to be fair, this is maybe a little bit of a lazy way. Really I should pull all the tubing out, but this is how I'm going to do it. If I was doing this over carpet, I'd probably be a little bit more careful. As soon as it's on like that, it'll stop. That's the amount of water I was expecting. So now I'll just lock the tubing in place. And we have our first valve on. I'm going to do the same on the other line. I'll put the towel underneath this one. It's a bit more awkward. It's going to be hard to see with the camera, I think. But you'll see when I pull it out exactly what I mean. I think around about there will work. Hopefully this one won't leak as much. So we've got them both on, all the valves are turned off. So now I'll disconnect. So we can remove our Keto reactor. You'll notice something that I've done here. The valve is, there's two different sides of the valve. One which has this lock nut and the male side without. So I've purposely put the end with the lock nut on this, on the bottom, and the opposite one, the male end on the other side, so that when I'm putting the reactor back in place, they won't ever get mixed up. So now we've got our reactor out, let's open it up and see how much Keto we've got growing in there to harvest. So I'm doing this outside just because we don't have a really good sink that we can do this in the propagation room. But I'm just going to open it up. First of all, I'll just open this top valve. Sometimes if you don't open up the valve, you end up with the problem that it causes a pressure lock and you can't get the lid off easily. So I'm just undoing these slightly, twist the lid and pulls up. Okay, so we were probably due to empty this out probably a few weeks ago, really. There's a few bristleworms in there, a little bit sick of bristleworms at the moment, so that'll be enough for today. Okay, and I'll put it back on the tank. So very easy, they just push into each other, you screw the lock nut and open up the valves. And same with the other. Making sure each of the 4 valves is in the open position before you turn the pump back on. Okay, which I'm going to do now. First of all, the reactor, chiller. I want to be quick about this. So with any reactor, it's always a good idea just to check that there aren't any leaks. The pack spelling is really good, the seal is excellent, so really it's not a problem, but you always want to check. The chiller is back on and the reactor light is working. So now we can look at the tank and do some work in there. So now that we've looked at the filter, cleaned out the skimmer, and finished doing the maintenance on the Keto reactor, it's time to get into the tank itself. Now, looking at the tank, there's a fair bit of work that needs to be done, but I'm going to start out with siphoning some of the debris off the bottom of the tank and also removing some of the problem macroalgae which has started to pop up. So I'm just going to use a siphon hose, siphoning into a bucket. Some of the corals that we've placed in Pimped AquaReef have been a little bit too wobbly or loose, so we're moving their positions. We're also trying to create a nicer aesthetic with more colour and variety of shape. So the first coral we've moved is this Bacillopora. Now, when we first put it in, it was actually a really nice green, and I'm hoping with a better position and glued in place that it will regain that colour. So just a small dollop of glue. So this Monty was right up the top before. I'm not too sure where I want to put it, but I'm going to try it here. Might be difficult to get to sit there. Hopefully it gets enough light. Anyway, I'll give it a go. Should be okay there. I think I'll put this here. Oh no, disaster. So luckily with that Bacillopora, the glue hadn't set, and so even though I knocked it, I was able to reposition it, and when the glue does set properly, it'll be a nice strong hold. But it does mean I have to be extra careful when I'm gluing in this Lord Howensis. This poor acro fell off a couple of weeks ago and hadn't been put back in place. You can actually see that this is the side that was getting light, and this is the side that was shaded, and it's really lost a lot of colour on that side. So I'll glue him back in place, but if he doesn't do well, then I'll probably put him in one of the other tanks. But I think I'll try it like this for now. So we've got a really nice hammer. Probably the only thing that's not a shade of green at the moment. I'm putting it up here with the intention of maybe putting a couple more hammers up here as well. I'm also going to glue this lithophilin. It fell out before and I realised that I'd never glued it. So I'm gluing the top side of this. So this is it for today's episode of Pimp AquaReef. Now, we've made some improvements, but we've still got a lot of work to do. We've moved quite a few of the corals around. They've got better positions. We've added some corals as well. There's probably another 3 or 4 new corals in the tank. But the main thing is we've fixed up a little issue we had with the Keto reactor, so it's going to be more easy to maintain. We're going to make sure we keep on top of that from now on. We've corrected our levels with the calcium, KH and mag. I think that will actually have the greatest benefit to the tank, and everything is looking a little bit better. But anyway, this is the update for Pimp AquaReef, and next time you see it, I think you'll find that it'll be even better. And we're still on track to really Pimp AquaReef, and can't wait to see where this one goes. So thanks for watching Gallery Aquatica TV. I'm Cam the Fish Guy. So that's our video for today. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, hit the subscribe as well. We'll be putting out videos every week showing a new tank with new products. There's going to be lots in all the videos. I'm Cam the Fish Guy, and keep on reefing.